everyone, and welcome to this edition of Spartan Sports Report. Alongside Ron Wiley, we've got Athletic Director Brent Duncan. Glad to have you back again.
Always happy to come and talk about our kids.
We got a lot to talk about this week of what's happened in the past week and what's coming up this week. So
Events.
A lot of events, yeah. Had a lot of girls basketball this week, 3 girls basketball games, and we were fortunate and covered all 3 of them, but girls were a little unfortunate, came up short a few times.
Yeah, and they were all really good ball games. I mean, come down to the end. And,
very competitive.
opportunities to win. You know, we get ahead of Newcastle and 25 seconds go, and we make a mental mistake probably and foul 30 feet from the basket, and they go ahead. And playing at home on Saturday or Friday night with Hagerstown, got a chance to take the lead, miss a point-blank shot under the bucket, and those things add up. Of course, those are the things you remember at the end. Forget the things we didn't do. Quarters 1, 2, and 3 that could have helped us get over the edge. So missed free throws here and there, and passes attempted. As I told Coach Harder, you know, and I see a lot of improvement in our girls. And this year, I think they have the idea of what needs to get done. Now it's just trying to get it done. We've had some sickness. You know, Abby Schwartz has been out until this week, and she's been a pretty good cog inside for us on the scoring purposes. And some of our girls are sophomores playing, and they're getting better. And
got a
freshman out there playing and getting an experience, and you know, those will pay off in the long run. So,
Ron, I know that we talk about it, you talk about it, that how much improvement we see,
Yes.
and it hasn't necessarily turned into wins, but it's going to.
Absolutely. I mean, what the growing pains now obviously will lead to growth, will lead to victories, and you know, one of the things that I was always impressed with covering the girls is the calmness that the coach Harder has with these girls. She knows it's a process, but it's got to get frustrating to get so close, but also at the same time to know that we're so close.
well, as I told her when she took over 3 years ago, and unfortunately she hasn't had 2 good summers.
Right.
Cupboards were a little bit bare, and it's going to take a little bit of a time. And thank goodness we finally got to have a summer with them, and you can see it coming. But I'm sure she gets frustrated, but she's got a lot of the same characteristics on the sideline as our boys coach does.
Right, yeah.
You don't see too much emotions, high or low.
Right.
You know, every now and then you see it, but I think our girls are getting better, and I think they're getting on the board where it's just about winning and not about who's scoring and who's
Right.
doing what. And when everybody buys into that system, that it's not about how much I play and where I play and when I play, it's do we have one more point than another team on the scoreboard. And I think that'll turn the tide when that gets to that through everybody.
Yeah. Show and growth.
Yeah,
Things are there.
and you can see that they see what they're supposed to be doing now. Sometimes it doesn't happen. I mean, good defense may cause you to turn the ball over, but the plays are there, and they're understanding the game.
Well, they're trying to throw the ball from the perimeter to the post, and the post people are posting people up, and then it's just a matter of I throw it too far and it's out of bounds, or I don't get it high enough and they pick it off. It's just the little things, or I see the pass but I wait a half a second and now it's stolen. And so we're all getting there. It's just a long process, and having confidence in yourself when you get the ball in the bucket that you're going to put it in the basket, whether there's somebody around you or not. And you know, I sat on the end at Pendleton Heights the other night with my high school buddy who helps out with Pendleton in the supervisor role, but you know, we guarded Dunham pretty good, and there were just a couple shots. He just pulled up and shot over top of you. There isn't much you can do about it. I mean, usually that's just a good shot, and that happens even, you know, boys and girls both. At some point in time, they just make a better play than you did.
Yeah.
The other night, Friday night, Sarah got her nose bloodied. Tough kid. Haley got her bell rung pretty good and didn't play Saturday night. Hopefully she'll be back this week when we go to South Dearborn. But it's little things like that changes the game. Haley went out, and we lost our post player because Abby's sick. But Abby was back Saturday night in a limited role, and being out as long as she was, it's going to take her a while to get her strength back.
I talked to her today, and she said, yeah, I played, but I didn't play very well. I was just a little bit tired. So, but yeah, unfortunately for her, she'd missed a few days just because of sickness. And then I didn't know Haley didn't play Saturday night because I was at Pendleton and giving you reports on the boys' score so you could get it on the airways. And I did see her take an elbow to the head, and I assume Tori, our trainer, will take good care of her and make sure, just to making sure. She still may have had headaches on Saturday, then hopefully that's gone by Sunday, and if not, we'll have our second one in concussion protocol.
What is the protocol there with something like that?
Well, if it's deemed that she's going to if it's deemed she has a concussion, she'll have to go back to an impact have an impact test by a doctor that's licensed to prescribe a retest. And that's what happened to one of our younger girls who didn't pass it the first time, so she had to wait another couple of weeks until she could get back, and then she didn't pass it the second time, and then so finally she's passed it, and she's got through her 6 days. Then she has, once they get cleared, they got to do basically a 5-day protocol with Tori the trainer. On day 6 they can go full go. So they do like different things each day, add a little more intensity until make sure they're not having headaches or fatigue or whatever it happens to be, or throwing up. So just to make sure that we're not reoccurring a concussion and getting them out there too quickly.
Very fortunate to have a trainer like Tori.
Yeah, I can't complain. I mean, she's the first one that's not been a Ball State grad for a long time, and she's from Anderson, but went to school with the Crum girls, so she's got a little local tie to our area. But all of our trainers have been just awesome, and Tori does a great job. And you know, that's why I always ask our parents to give her a chance. I mean, don't always assume you gotta go see the doctor. If it's a major thing, sure, but give her a chance to get your kid back in health and shape, and she might be able to get him back in 2 or 3 days. And you know, as we always tell them, the doctors are great, but if they give the prescription, she can't override it. And if they say 2 weeks, it's 2 weeks. She may be able to have him back quicker, depending on the injury and what the nature of it is. So,
And it's just a matter then of her and the parents keeping a good eye on the student athlete.
yeah, and we tell parents, you know, if you're ever in doubt, still take them to see the doctor. But you know, with concussions, there's just a set protocol that has to take place once they get the clear to come back to practice. So that way, you're not putting them out there too quickly and taking the risk of hitting their head again in too short of a period of time.
And it's obviously something that needs to be done. I mean, we saw a kid at the Pendleton Heights game who hit his head. I think it was a Sims kid. Went out, obviously got checked out, came back, was able to come back in the game. That was nice to see. But anytime you see a head injury, a kid hit the floor, take an elbow, or hit their head on the floor, you got to take that seriously. You know, always assume the worst.
Ron, TV3 was at the Pendleton Heights game.
Yeah.
You want to give us update? I know we got some film on.
We were a lot higher than we normally are, so it's hard to see the expression of the kids. One thing I was impressed with them is that I found out later on that we were dealing with some injuries. We didn't go as deep on our bench as we did the games past, but the kids got down 32-26 with about 2:30 to go in the third. Never saw a sign of panic. They just amped it up, and it didn't seem like they did anything different other than they just amped it up. And it was very impressive. It was a good victory. They were sluggish. They were lethargic. But again, they had a lot of sickness going on. Some of their teammates not there. I thought they played very, very well. That was a very good victory.
Brent, your thoughts on it? You were there.
Yeah, I mean, when you have kids that are sick, it definitely changes your rotation. So what you normally think you're going to have when you get up on Saturday morning and you have someone call and say, hey, I'm too sick to get out of bed, and that throws a monkey wrench into a lot of things. So, but I thought our kids did a pretty good job in the second half of coming out. I think we made a lot of early shots, too quick of shots early in the game. I'm sure Coach Brown wasn't happy. I'm sure he's either talked to him or going to talk to him.
Yeah, we had a lot
That's
of
my guess.
Yeah, a lot of one and dones.
You know, for us, that's unusual to take the first open shot unless you're just totally on fire. But early in the game, we had 2 or 3 of them that were really, really quick. And then we had a couple we missed layups, so we had great passes and just missed a layup and missed a putback. And then, like I said, Dunham rose up and hit a few shots. The big 6'7" kid hit a 3 that was probably unexpected. We'd probably let him shoot it all day long. But they're young. But I thought in the third quarter, towards the end, our defensive intensity got a little bit better. We did try to trap a couple times on the sideline, and just the pressure. James went over and switched onto the Dunham kid for a while, just a little bit bigger, a little harder to get over. You know, Toby and Carter did a great job on him, but neither one of them are as big as he is physically and can get up off the ground like he was getting up. So James just a little more athletic, a little taller, which kind of helped a little bit. Don't know if it made a difference or not, but he missed a couple shots while James was guarding him, and we did a better job of securing the rebounds.
Yeah, that was the key. Was securing the rebounds later in that game on that 16-0 run where we were really crashing the boards a lot better than we were earlier in the game.
Pendleton hadn't won a game yet. They were 0-4. You, as a coach, those kind of teams can be really dangerous.
Well, you have to stop and look, as we talked, and I didn't know, but Kerry knew, they've played the 11th hardest schedule in the state so far of who they've lost to. So they played Mount Vernon the night before and were right in the game until the very end, kind of like us. And I can't remember the other 2 teams' place, but they played Anderson and they've played LaPel, and LaPel's a very solid small school and has been for years. And so according to the great rankings people, they've played the 11th toughest schedule in the state, and that's probably right there. Probably why they lost their first 3 or now their first 4, but they'll be better, but they're young, so.
They are a young team. I mean, I was amazed. I think they had, I mean, the majority, they had 80% at least sophomores.
We got film going here. I wasn't paying any attention to the monitor, but final 51-40, and that traditionally has been a difficult place for us to play, a difficult place for us to get wins.
I think we've probably only beaten them about 3 times in the years that we played them. Even when we had Matt and that crew, it's just been a difficult time. The last loss there was a little tough to swallow, but water's under the bridge, but the memories are still there. And, we'll let it be at that. So, broke our 10-game winning streak in overtime, but the shot was after the buzzer, and there's no doubt about it. But you can't go back and cry spilled milk and fix it. So,
but a good team to have on our schedule. That if in the future our enrollment will go up and we go back to 4A, they could be a sectional opponent. So I think it's important that we keep them on the schedule.
People question us why we're playing Mount Vernon and New Pal, and that's just for the same reason, Shelbyville and all those. I don't know where the cut line is going to be in April. We could very easily be back in 4A, so we got to keep.
Is it this year? This April?
Yeah, it'll be that. We put it off for a year because of the COVID year, so they're going to reclassify this April.
Where do you think?
Last time we were 101 out of 404, so take your conjecture. We were right on the cut line. Wow. So do we go up? Do you go down? So
which kind of makes it tough for you, but we've been able to keep those teams that we would play. You mentioned a couple, and there's Greenfield Central as well, and I don't remember if Delta's in that mix. So basically that HHC conference and us.
Yeah, we play almost everybody. We don't play Yorktown. They might be the only one we don't play, but off the top of my head. But Newcastle and Mount Vernon and Greenfield and New Pal and Shelbyville and just go down the line and we got them all. But so I don't know. We'll find out.
And they're all within an hour, so it's makes a lot of sense for us to play them.
I mean, and it's typically good competition. I mean, all their coaches have done a good job over the years of being competitive. New Pal's is as aggressive as anybody that we play typically, and Shelbyville's been up and down a little bit, but they were a little more athletic the last couple of years than they had been. And, that one year we shot a lot of free throws in the bowl against them. I think made 52 out of 55 or whatever that number was. So, and I sat with their AD that night, who's now the AD at Yorktown, and all he kept looking at me, he says, "Why are we fouling?" He says, "It's not like they're not fouls, we're fouling." He says, "We're not ahead and it's not close and we're still fouling." So
that would be instead of asking you, that'd have been a question to ask his coach.
Should have asked the guys on the floor. So I think he yelled at him a couple times to stop, but I think it just continued. So
you talk about Pendleton Heights' tough schedule this far, the 11th in the state. We have a huge tournament coming up where we're going to be playing some. How did that get set up?
Which one?
The Hall of Fame tournament.
We were invited.
Oh, yes.
You have to be
invited. So it's not. Well, see, that's incredible. I mean, that shows the respect of the Connersville Spartan basketball program.
Yeah. So there's obviously some people on there that like our style, and they got a long list. They look who's got how many kids coming back and where they finished. And
how long has this been in play? Was it just last year? Okay.
Just the last year.
Yeah. So you kind of figured out the teams that were going to be in there were going to be really good.
Well, that's what they were hoping.
Yeah.
So, well, and if you look at the new coaches poll that just came out today, the teams that are there, all 4 of them are now in the top 20 of the coaches poll.
So we cracked
Cathedral and Homestead. Cathedral's number 2 and Homestead's number 3. They square off. Westfield, our opponent, is number 9, and we came in this week with a 5-0 record of number 20. Now,
yeah, that's all classes.
Now that and $1.50 will buy you a cup of coffee because it really doesn't mean anything, but it gives us something to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
No, and the difference, the style will be different. When we met and you were there and we talked about the number of athletes, and Cathedral threw out their 47 scholarship offers, and Westfield's got it, and Homestead and Westfield just played, and Homestead beat Westfield by 3, if I remember right. And Kerry got up and talked about our point guard's going to go to IU East. We're not sure if anybody else was going to go anywhere yet, and we're going to come in and try to play fundamental basketball. And of course, Westfield guy said he's going to try to figure out how to score 40 points. So, but you never know. It's just a matter of who can control the ball and who can play who can make the other team play their style of basketball. And if we can get people to play the style that Carey likes to play when it's a tougher opponent, then we're always going to be in the game. If we get in a track meet with many of them, which you hear people talk about getting the shot clock, and I want to see scoring. Well, you can see scoring, but we may not be 5-0 either. So you value the wins or you value the points. And do you value teaching the game of basketball or just seeing athletes run up down the floor and shoot? So it depends on what side of the fence you want to stand, and you can't sit on the top. I don't think too many people waver back and forth. So
Absolutely. Tickets. We have opportunity for 2,000 tickets. Be important.
well, I don't know if I got all two, but we still have a lot left, and I think we kind of need to emphasize that if you buy them from the athletic department, we get most of the proceeds out of that $10 that you're paying for that ticket. That would be good for the morning session as well as the night session. But if you wait and buy them at the door, there'll be $10 for the morning session. Then when you come back for the night session, it will be another $10. So it'll cost you $20 there for the 2 games when you can come and watch all 4 games for $10.
And we get something out of it.
And we get some of that money back. We don't get any of that money that will be taken at the door. So if you buy the tickets from us at the athletic office, we get part of that proceed back to us in the athletic
Which would
department.
be good to help defray expenses.
You
have expenses, just get.
We'll have expenses
feeding
getting
them.
there, and then obviously, it helps pay for the other sports that doesn't always generate a revenue. We sold 22 tickets at the freshman boys basketball game tonight, and that doesn't cover the cost of the officials or the table workers so you got to make that up at other places. So, but it's going to be a big week. Joanne's starting her gymnastics preview this Wednesday night, so they can come out and watch the gymnasts free if you want to watch them 6:30 on Wednesday in the high school gym. And wrestling's headed to Franklin County this week, and I think our wrestlers are getting better, but our problem is we just don't have numbers, and wrestling is very similar to swimming. If without numbers, I think we got a lot of good swimmers. We don't got enough of them swimmers. And it's the same in wrestling when we can't fill our weight classes.
They go to Newcastle tomorrow night, swimmers.
Newcastle tomorrow. I didn't get to go there last year because Newcastle's actually came to us because their pool was under construction for a leak or something. So they're headed there tomorrow night. And then Saturday night, we got Friday night's the diving part of our invitational. So we'll have the dive meet on Friday, and then the swim invite will be on Saturday morning.
Who's coming in that?
Oh, I knew you'd ask me that. It's Hagerstown and Richmond, East Central, Newcastle. No, Newcastle's out. Centerville, Seton Cathley's got a girl, or a small team.
Pretty good competition.
There's another. I think there's one besides us. There's one more. There's 6 of us all together. I'm drawing a blank on the last one. So
when you think of our athletic program, it's very impressive. I mean, I can't think of a sport other than lacrosse that we don't have for these kids to enjoy. Swimming, diving, tennis. I mean, we have almost everything. That's something to hang your hat on.
well, we have every sport that IHSA supports. Lacrosse is a club sport in the state of Indiana. So, as well as up north, there are some schools that don't have football. They have boys volleyball instead of football.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But it's not a sanctioned sport by the IHSA yet because it doesn't meet the number of required schools in the state to have it.
We have bowling and archery as well that's not sanctioned, but still something our kids can participate in.
So a lot of fine arts programs, but a lot of our kids do, and they do a great job at those as well.
So does the sports like wrestling, does the sports like swimming, do they go through pendulums where, especially Olympic years? I'd imagine swimming is bigger in Olympic years. Does it go through that pendulum where, man, you got to turn kids away? Which
No,
I imagine you don't. But
never had
I'm
to
saying,
turn anyway,
But you
but-
have your.
I think it just goes in pockets. That one year when we won the regional in wrestling, we had every weight class filled, and every kid had wrestled forever, and they knew exactly who had to be in what weight, and they worked on it all summer and the fall to make sure they were all in the right weight class by the time they started weighing in. And, that one year we didn't have a lot of girl swimmers, but we won 8 of the 11 swimming events and couldn't win the sectional because we don't have enough depth.
Oh, wow.
So it's important for wrestling and swimming to get people out. And I think, Zane Spurlock and Stephen Kefeber are coaching our high school team. They're also got their hands involved in the Connersville area swim team, the CAST program. They're also doing our middle school. So hopefully those two can get kids out and
Keeping them busy.
get them where they want to go. And they love it. I think
They do.
pretty passionate about it and had a lot of good compliments towards them. So, And Joanne's probably in her 47th year of coaching gymnastics.
That's amazing.
If you ever saw the movie Teachers, I said, Joanne, when you get out, and I said, she goes, I don't know. I said, you'll be like Ditto on the movie Teachers. You're probably just going to die in the gym. And she says, yeah, you're probably right. So that's where she likes to be. So she'll be in her happy place. And a lot of them are good. I've been spending many years in there. She taught my daughter how to crawl on the gymnastics floor in the gymnastics center. So It's 30 years ago.
That's cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And she has 3 state titles.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's different because, gymnastics has changed so much since that group has gone through the skill level from everybody and the difference. And, I try to tell the girls in gymnastics that keep coming out, you can't just wait till November because your body's changed so much and you've lost so much strength if you're not doing it all year round. And of course, that's true with about anything, but there are a few sports you just have to do.
You have to train all the time.
Yeah, you can't afford to take. I've lived it where you've taken a week off, and just to see the difference in Devin as an athlete trying to do the tricks, the week makes a huge difference when you're trying to do your body motions. So, but there are some that will do it, and some will just always be on the gymnastics team and be happy just to be where they're at. But
Yeah.
so
Let's take a look now at EIAC boys basketball this past week. Connersville 5-0. They defeated Pendleton Heights 51-40. They go on the road this Friday to South Dearborn. We got a boy-girl doubleheader down there, and they'll host the Richmond Red Devils on Saturday. Greensburg is 3-0. They defeated Triton Central 61-43. Entertained Jennings County Friday, and will be at Franklin County for a conference matchup on Saturday. East Central is 3-2. Lost to Cincinnati LaSalle 59-40, and the Jennings County 64-19. They beat Oldenburg Academy 64-26. They host Batesville on Saturday. Lawrenceburg 4-0. They down Batesville 43-24 and beat Switzerland County 60-51. They'll be at Rushville on Friday and home with Greenfield Central on Saturday. South Dearborn 4-1 lost to Madison 47-41 and beat Harrison, Ohio 48-38. Host the Spartans Friday. Batesville 0-4, kind of surprising, lost 43-24 to Lawrenceburg, and Southwestern Hanover 68-52. They play Milan at home on Thursday and travel to East Central on Saturday. Franklin County is 3-2. They lost to Lawrenceburg 59-56. They beat Rushville 54-42. And Friday, and on Friday, they lost to them. South Ripley 62-38 this past Saturday. They'll host Greensburg on Saturday. Rushville 0-5 lost to Franklin County 54-42, and South Bend Riley 73-42. They play Lawrenceburg Friday at Memorial Gym and go to Centerville on Saturday. Here are the standings in the IAC. Lawrenceburg on top at 2-0, and they're 4-0 overall. Spartans 1-0 and 5-0 overall. South Dearborn's 1-0 and 4-1. Franklin County's 1-2 and 3-2 overall. Greensburg, they're 0-0. They haven't played any conference game yet, but they are 3-0 overall. East Central likewise haven't played a conference game. They are 3-2. Batesville 0-1, and they are 0-4 on the season. And Rushville 0-2 in the conference and 0-5 on the season. In girls basketball in the conference, Connersville's 4-8. They fell to Newcastle 37-34. 29-25 to Hagerstown on Friday night, and to Lawrenceburg 47-36 on Saturday. They play in the boy-girl doubleheader, their only game this week, Friday night at 6 at South Dearborn. Lawrenceburg's 8-4. They down Batesville 57-36, and Connersville 47-36. They go to Rushville Saturday. Greensburg's 3-9. They beat South Dearborn 55-24 and lost to Rushville 50-48. Go to Batesville Friday and play at home against South Ripley Saturday. Rushville 5-4, beat Greensburg 50-48. Host Lawrenceburg Saturday. Batesville 2-8 at Franklin County on Tuesday, and host Greensburg Friday and at East Central on Saturday. Franklin County 6-6 defeated Richmond 41-40. South Ripley 32-29. They host Batesville Tuesday and Oldenburg Academy on Friday. South Dearborn 1-11, been beaten by Greensburg 55-24 and Hauser 68-61. They host the Lady Spartans Friday. East Central 6-1. They beat Columbus North, a future possible sectional opponent, 47-31. They host Jackson Dell Thursday and Batesville on Saturday. The girls' EIAC standings, Lawrenceburg's 3-0 and top of the list and 8-4 overall. East Central's 2-0 and 6-1 overall. Rushville's 2-0, and their season record is 5-4. Greensburg in the conference is 2-2 and 3-9 overall. Our Lady Spartans are 1-2 and 4-8 overall. Franklin County, they're 6-6 overall and have lost their only conference game. Batesville's 0-2 and 2-8. South Dearborn 0-3 and 1-11. As Brent mentioned earlier, the wrestlers travel to Franklin County Saturday. On Tuesday, the swim teams travel to Newcastle at 5:30. They host the diving invitational Friday at 6 and the swim invitational Saturday at 10:30. Talk a little bit about games coming up here. We talked about Spartans, of course, cracking the IBCA top 20. They are right now number 3 in 4A in the AP poll. And the two teams above them, I don't remember now, Leo's number 2, but
Mishawaka?
Yeah, Mishawaka Marion, and they are all undefeated. So don't look for the Spartans to move up, but I hope that they don't move down.
Well, you never know. It could be like the College Bowl.
Yeah.
You never know where you go based on who wins and who loses. So, but you know.
Yeah, I'd tell you 3A is we always look at 4A because that's but there's some good schools in 3A and Spartans are going to show how good they are when they play in that Hall of Fame tournament.
Well, hope we come out and put a good show on and kids play their best, and that's all you can ask, And as we talk, the girls are getting better. We're anxious to see the swimmers continue to improve and see Thursday or Wednesday night what the gymnasts have. And I've seen them, a lot of good wrestlers, just don't have enough of those wrestlers. So we'll hopefully keep plugging that. We have our own invitational coming on the 23rd. So our Lady Spartans will play Cowan at 9, and then Madison and Winchester will play at 10:30. Then at noon, it'll be the Spartans against the Monroe Central Golden Bears. And at 1:30, it'll be the Bloomington North Cougars and the South Decatur Cougars.
Some bigger schools and smaller schools, but all pretty good competition.
Well, I know Monroe Central and South Decatur are supposed to have some good players, and they both wanted to play some bigger schools, so they were more than happy to step in, and Bloomington North was the last one we got inked in, and we'll see how that goes. That's 8 games back to back to back to back to back, so the cost will be $10 for the day.
That's a bargain.
We talked about doing sessions, but we don't have any breaks, so we'll put the wristband on you. You can watch all 8 games for $10. You can come and go as you please as long as you have your wristband on. So.
How big is your staff? I mean, it's amazing because when we go to games, you're there. And it's like, but you have all of these sports I'm amazed at what you do with, you got to control everything.
He doesn't get paid by the hour, let me tell you.
Exactly. I was going to say, I would hope he would, but it's amazing.
You have the normal ticket takers who've been there forever, At one time, Carol Collier, Michelle Carrier, and Lori Flannery, and, Angela Gettinger, and Linda Pollitt, and Jamie Ham, now Jamie Becker, and Patty and Denny Lakes always do the doors at the basketball games. And, we've had some changeover on the table for a while, and hopefully, Larry's getting better, and Grady Tate stepped in. And
did a nice job, though.
Bob Powers has stepped away for a little while, and Terry Hillman's been at the table for 47 years, and Jeff Frisch and Jeff Gabbard, and Dave and Sam down low, and our TV crew behind, and, the rest of them is me and Trent. Katrina in the athletic office, and Brian the Edgecombe. So really in the staff, there's only really 4 of us total.
Wow, it's amazing the work you guys do.
They do an amazing job.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. But, how far are you ahead? As far as...
Depends on what sports you want to talk. Football, about 5.
Yeah, wow. That's
basketball's at least 2. So the rest of them are at least this year and part of next year already.
That's amazing. Amazing work, man.
So it's just part of the job.
Good job.
I think this is the fastest 30 minutes on
I think
TV.
so, yeah.
We could go on and talk another hour, but it's about to wrap up the show here. And appreciate Brent, you sitting in with us as
Happy to be
always.
here.
And Ron, glad to have you alongside. And thanks everybody for watching this edition of the Spartan Sports Report. Good night, everyone.